All right, so today we're going to talk the difference between lateral squats, lateral lunges, and the Cossack squat. Now you might have also heard lateral lunges called side lunges and the lateral squat called side squats. Those are the same thing, but there is a difference between a lateral or side squat and a lateral or side lunge. So warm your legs up, here we go. All right, so the lateral squat and the lateral lunge are very similar. In fact, the movement is basically the same. The only difference is that with a lateral squat, you're gonna stay static in one position. You're gonna get your feet to where you want them, plant them, and they're gonna stay there. With the lateral lunge, we're gonna add a dynamic, a movement piece to it, kind of like doing lunges. So it's almost the difference between squat, where your feet are set, and lunges, where you're moving back and forth, okay? Big part with the lateral lunge is find your stance, and your straight leg foot is gonna stay flat on the ground throughout the movement. So find a wider than hip width stance or wider than shoulder width stance. You're simply gonna squat to one side, keeping the foot flat. Go down as far as you can. You can switch sides or you can stay to one side. You're gonna feel a real good stretch through your inner thigh. In fact, that's kind of where this one's working the most. Yes, you're gonna work the top of your thigh, your hip, but most of what we're working in is the straight leg, inner thigh. You're gonna feel a good stretch. So only go down as far as you can. So this is the lateral squat. With the lateral lunge, each time you're gonna come back to center. Take a step, side lunge. Step, side lunge. So we add that dynamic piece to the movement. Now Cossack squat is different. With the Cossack squat, we're gonna be sort of like a lateral squat where we're gonna keep our feet in one spot, except the toe is gonna end up pointed toward the ceiling. The idea with this movement is to try to work on your mobility and get absolutely as low as you can. So same idea, wider than shoulder width stance, but as I come down, this toe is gonna point up and I'm gonna get still some inner thigh adductors, but also a lot of hamstring with this movement. Back up, toe points, and I'm gonna sit as far down as I can. Back up, sit, get low, out to the side. All of these are great movements to have in your program. The Cossack squat is gonna work a little bit more hamstring, and it's really gonna work on mobility. The idea is getting as low to the ground as you possibly can. The lateral squat is a great place to start because you find a nice, steady spot for your feet. Only go down as far as you can, keep your foot planted. So that's probably the movement that I would do first. When you're very comfortable with that, then add in the lateral lunge, which is gonna add that dynamic piece, that back and forth, a little bit more coordination to it. And then as your flexibility and your mobility increase, add the Cossack squat in.